Well, hi there. Welcome back to Professor Snyder's. That's me, Music Biz News. Copyright infringement lawsuits are pretty common in the music industry. So common that a lot of times those who file the lawsuits and the lawyers are called copyright trolls, because the goal is not to go to court, but rather to be enough of a pest that the record labels will just pay them to go away, and which is typically cheaper for the record labels or the copyright owners, than for them to pay lawyers and go through the court process. A lot of this happens every day, it seems. But sometimes the copyright owners, the holders, or like the record labels or the artists or the songwriters, will decide to fight it. And such is the case of Mariah Carey's song, Christmas song, that I'm sure you've heard, All I Want for Christmas. She was sued by Vince Vance, who had written a song called All I Want and released it a year before Mariah Carey's song came out. But he lost his case. As the judge ruled, Vance and Carey, in other words, Vance's song and Carey's song, in their entirety are very different songs, and the only element of similarity is the use of a common lyrical idea and Christmas song cliches that were in common use prior to Vance releasing his song, and to claim that it is somehow unique and that Mariah Carey had copied him. But the kicker for Vance, after being told that he had lost the case, was then the judge said that Vance had to pay Mariah Carey's legal fees. And she claims that $186,000 is what she, the record labels, the publishers, the co-writers had to pay in legal expenses to defend themselves against Vince Vance's claims. Those who took my music industry class might remember the case of John Fogerty of Creedence Clearwater Revival actually suing basically himself when his previous record label that he had left, Fantasy Records, sued John Fogerty because John Fogerty as a solo artist was writing songs that sounded eerily similar to the songs that he wrote with Creedence Clearwater Revival that was signed by Fantasy Records. So Fantasy Records had sued John Fogerty for sounding like himself and claimed copyright infringement. Well, John Fogerty won that lawsuit, but it also became a landmark Supreme Court case. It went all the way up to the Supreme Court because John Fogerty then sued the record label for his legal fees and won. So the record label had to pay John Fogerty for all the money that he had to pay to defend himself against Fantasy Records' claim that he had copied his own songs. So this is sort of a continuation of that, but Vince Vance probably didn't think this would happen to him, but it did. And now he is being forced to pay over $186,000 in legal bills. And he is claiming that the lawsuit, it's simply not reasonable and could financially destroy him, and that it could bankrupt an elderly man now who does not have vast resources. And his lawyer also wrote, and representing Vance, one artist should not push another artist to the brink of a financial collapse. But I doubt the courts are going to feel sorry for him. Earlier this month, Carey and the other defendants, her co-writers, record label and the publishers, told the judge they had paid a combined $185,602.30 for a total of 295 hours to defeat Vince Vance's motions. They said they spent a lot because Vance was demanding drastic things like $20 million in damages and the destruction of all copies of Carey's song. That song brings in about $8 million a year every Christmas. It's an evergreen. We probably get sick of hearing it. But When you have a song that's bringing in $8 million plus or minus a million every year, obviously you don't want to have to destroy every copy and pay out $20 million to a guy who says that she ripped him off. So maybe he was a little too greedy, because most likely $8 million a year they would have paid him maybe $100,000 just to go away. What do you think? Please like and share and all those kinds of things.